Maas, Keezhapavoor.
Welcome to Maas, Keezhapavoor channel. I am Dr. Aruna Shanmugavel. Let us see a motivational quote. Hardships often prepare ordinary people for an extraordinary destiny. In this video, we are going to learn about the histology of cerebellum. My special thanks to the MD third year student from Nizamabad for the request of this video. The cerebellum has a cortex and medulla. The cortex is the outer grey matter. This layer covers the central core of white matter. The cortex has three layers from superficial to deep. They are molecular layer, Purkinje cell layer, and granular layer. Let us see one by one in an order. The molecular layer contains two types of cells: stellate cells in the superficial part and basket cells in the deep part. The dendrites of stellate cells synapse with parallel fibers of granule cells of the granular layer, and their axons synapse with dendrites of Purkinje cells of Purkinje layer. The dendrites of basket cells branch in the molecular layer and synapse with parallel fibers of granule cell. Remember, dendrites of stellate cells also synapse in the parallel fibers. The dendrites also receive recurrent collaterals from axons of Purkinje cells, climbing fibers from inferior olivary complex, and Maas fibers from vestibular nuclei, pontine nuclei, and spinal cord. The axons of basket cells branch and form networks or baskets around the cell bodies of Purkinje cells. They synapse with Purkinje cells at the junction of cell body and axon. Deep to the molecular layer is the Purkinje cell layer. This layer contains only one layer of neurons. The Purkinje cells have flask-shaped cell bodies, and these cells are evenly spaced. A dendrite arises from the neck region of these flask-shaped cells and passes into the molecular layer. Then it divides and subdivides and forms a dendritic tree. All the branches of dendrites lie in one plane. The axons of Purkinje cells pass through granular layer and reach the nuclei in the white matter. The axons of Purkinje cells are the only efferents from cerebellar cortex, and they are inhibitory. The granular layer consists of numerous granule cells and a few Golgi cells. The granular cells are spherical neurons and gives off 3 to 5 short dendrites. These dendrites of granular cells and axons of Golgi cells synapse with terminals of Maas fibers to form glomeruli. The glomeruli occupies the space in the molecular layer, and that space is called as cerebellar islands. The axonal extensions of granule cells are the parallel fibers. The other type of cells present in granular layer is Golgi cells. Their dendrites enter the molecular layer where they branch and synapse with parallel fibers. The axons of Golgi cells synapse with Maas fibers in the glomeruli. The central core of each cerebellar hemisphere is formed by white matter. The cerebellar peduncles continue into white matter. The white matter of both sides is connected by thin lamina of fibers. The upper part of this lamina is the superior medullary velum and lower part is the inferior medullary velum. Both superior and inferior medullary velum take part in forming the roof of fourth ventricle. Shall we talk about the afferent and efferent fibers of cerebellum? The afferent fibers are mossy fibers and climbing fibers. The fibers from vestibular nuclei, pontine nuclei and spinal cord are the mossy fibers, and these fibers branch profusely and terminate in the granular layer of cerebellum. Each branch ends in an expanded terminal called rosette. The fibers from inferior olivary complex form climbing fibers. These fibers pass through granular layer, Purkinje layer and finally reach molecular layer. The efferent fibers from cerebellar cortex are axons of Purkinje cells. These fibers terminate in the cerebellar nuclei. The cerebellar nuclei are dentate, emboliform, fastigial and globose. Remember DEFG. D for dentate, E for emboliform, F for fastigial and G for globose. The fibers from fastigial nucleus leave the cerebellum through inferior cerebellar peduncle, whereas the fibers from other nuclei reach superior cerebellar peduncle. Shall we wind up the session with a quote? Always have a unique character like salt. Its presence is not felt, but its absence makes all things tasteless. Thank you for watching.
If you like this video, don't forget to subscribe and click the bell icon, select all to get instant notifications.